tyre code.
Automobile tires are described by an alphanumeric tyre code or tyre code, which is generally molded into the sidewall of the tire. This code specifies the dimensions of the tire, and some of its key limitations, such as load-bearing ability, and maximum speed. Sometimes the inner sidewall contains information not included on the outer sidewall, and vice versa. The code has grown in complexity over the years, as is evident from the mix of metric and imperial units, and ad hoc extensions to lettering and numbering schemes. New automotive tires frequently have ratings for traction, treadwear, and temperature resistance, collectively known as the Uniform Tire Quality Grade, UTQG, ratings. Most tires sizes are given using the ISO metric sizing system. However, some pickup trucks and SUVs use the light truck numeric or light truck high flotation system.
National Technical Standards Regulations.
The European Tyre and Rim Technical Organization, ETRTO, and the Tyre and Rim Association, TRA, are two organizations that influence national tire standards. The objective of the ETRTO include aligning national tire and rim standards in Europe. The Tyre and Rim Association, formerly known as the Tyre and Rim Association of America, Incorporated, is an American trade organization which standardizes technical standards. In the United States, the Office of Vehicle Safety Compliance, a component of the Department of Transportation, is one of the agencies tasked to enforce the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard, FMVSS. Canada has published tire regulations, such as the Motor Vehicle Tire Safety Regulations SOR 95-148.
Explanation of tyre codes.
The ISO metric tyre code consists of a string of letters and numbers, as follows. An optional letter, or letters, indicating the intended use or vehicle class for the tire. P, passenger car, LT, light truck street, special trailer, T, temporary, restricted usage for space saver spare wheels, P, passenger car, LT, light truck, street, special trailer, T, temporary, restricted usage for space saver spare wheels. P indicates that the tire is engineered to TRA standards and absence of a letter indicates that the tire is engineered to ETRTO standards. In practice, the standards of the two organizations have evolved together and are fairly interchangeable, but not fully since the load index will be different for the same size tire. 3-digit number, the nominal section width of the tire in millimeters. The widest point from both outer edges, sidewall to sidewall. The tire surface which touch the road usually has smaller width, // character for character separation, 2 or 3-digit number, the aspect ratio of the sidewall height as a percentage of the total width of the tire. If the information is omitted, it is assumed to be 82%, if written, it should be like XXX/82. If the number is larger than 200, then this is the diameter of the entire tire in millimeters, an optional letter indicating construction of the fabric carcass of the tire. B, bias belt, where the sidewalls are the same material as the tread, leading to a rigid ride. D, diagonal. R, radial, if omitted, then it is a cross-ply tire. B, bias belt, where the sidewalls are the same material as the tread, leading to a rigid ride. D, diagonal. R, radial, if omitted, then it is a cross-ply tire. 1 or 2-digit number, diameter in inches of the wheel that the tires are designed to fit. There is the rare exception metric diameter tires, such as the use of the 390 size, which in this case would indicate a wheel of 390 mm in diameter. Few tires are made to this size presently. The number may be longer where a half-inch size is used, for example many heavy transport trucks now use 22.5-inch tires. 2 or 3-digit number, load index. See table below. Some light truck tires are approved for dual use, that is they can be run in pairs next to each other. If so, separate load indexes will be specified for single and dual usage. In the example shown in the light truck tire illustration, the tire has a load index of 114 if used as a single tire, and a load rating of 111 if used in a dual pair. Tires without this designation for dual usage are unsafe to use as such. 1 or 2-digit letter combo, speed rating. See table below. Additional marks, see subheading below.
Flotation sizes.
Some light truck tires follow the light truck numeric or light truck high flotation systems, indicated by the letters LT at the end instead of the beginning of the sequence, as follows. The tire diameter is given for high flotation tires and omitted from numeric tires. 2-digit number, the diameter of the tire in inches. X, separator character, 2-digit number, the diameter of the tire in inches. X, separator character, 3 or 4-digit number, the section width, cross-section, of the tire in inches. If the tire diameter is not given, section widths ending in 0, for example, 7.00 or 10.50 indicate the aspect ratio is 92%, while section widths not ending in 0, for example, 7.05 or 10.55 indicate the aspect ratio is 82%. These aspect ratios often vary from today's tire manufacturer specification, construction of the fabric of the tire. B, bias belt, D, diagonal, R, radial, B, bias belt, D, diagonal, R, radial, 2-digit number, diameter in inches of the wheel rim that this tire is designed to fit. LT, designates that this is a light truck tire. Load index and speed rating are sometimes not mandatory for flotation sizes, but must be for any tire approved for street and highway use. 2 or 3-digit number, load index. See table below. 1 or 2-digit letter combination, speed rating. See table below. 2 or 3-digit number, load index. See table below. 1 or 2-digit letter combination, speed rating. See table below. Additional marks, see subheading below. As an example, if a tire size has two sets of numbers, 6 to 12, 5.00-15, 11.2-24, the first number, 5.00-15, is the approximate width in inches. The second number, 5.00-15, is the rim diameter in inches. If a tire size has three sets of numbers, 15x6.00-6, 26x12.00-12, 31x15.50-15, the first number, 26x12.00-12, is the approximate height in inches. The second number, 26x12.00-12, is the approximate width in inches, and the third number, 26x12.00-12, is the rim diameter in inches.
Load range.
The load range letter on light truck tires indicates their ply rating.
Load index.
The load index on a passenger car tire is a numerical code stipulating the maximum load, mass, or weight each tire can carry. For load range B tires, ETO, isometric, standards specify the load index rating at an inflation pressure of 36 psi, 250 kilopascals, table below, while P-metric standards measure the load capacity at an inflation pressure of 35 psi, 240 kilopascals. The two standards vary slightly with the capacity required for different inflation pressures. While all ETO tires of the same load index will have the same maximum load, P-metric tires with the same load index may have different load capacities depending on the tire size. The TRA inflation tables must always be consulted when comparing the load capacity of P-metric tires. The load index alone is not sufficient. An example, a P205/50 or 15 standard load tire has a load index of 84 and a load rating of 505 kg, 1,113 pounds, at 35 psi, 240 kilopascals. A P215/50 or 13 with the same load index of 84 only has a load rating of 495 kg, 1,091 pounds, also at 35 psi, 240 kilopascals. ETRTO produces a standards manual, current edition 2010, which contains a number of specifications and tables. The load index table, 2010 page G7, lists the load index from 0 to 45 kilograms, 0 to 99 pounds, to 279 to 136,000 kilograms, 615 to 299,829 pounds, although it appears to relate to an inflation pressure of 42 psi, 290 kilopascals, it doesn't specify, but see load inflation table. The load inflation table references the load index to inflation pressures between 22 psi, 150 kilopascals, and 42 psi, 290 kilopascals, at 1 psi, 6.9 kilopascals, intervals which is too large to be included here. Some of the older letter code load range ratings for light truck tires can be found in a chart published by the Goodyear Tire Company. For example,
Speed rating.
the speed symbol is made up of a single letter or an A with one number. It indicates the maximum speed at which the tire can carry a load corresponding to its load index. Prior to 1991, tire speed ratings were shown inside the tire size, before the year construction type. The available codes were SR, 112 miles per hour, 180 kilometers per hour, HR, 130 miles per hour, 210 kilometers per hour, VR, in excess of 130 miles per hour, 210 kilometers per hour. Tires with a speed rating higher than 186 miles per hour, 300 kilometers per hour, are indicated by a Y in parentheses. The load rating is often included within the parentheses, for example, 86Y. In many countries, the law requires that tires must be specified, and fitted, to exceed the maximum speed of the vehicle they are mounted on, with regards to their speed rating code, except for temporary use spare tires. In some parts of the European Union, tires that are not fit for a car's or motorcycle's particular maximum speed are illegal to mount. The sole exception are M+S tires, where a warning sticker stating the allowed maximum speed must be placed within clear sight of the driver inside the vehicle. Some manufacturers will install a speed governor if a vehicle is ordered with tires rated below the vehicle's maximum speed.
Metric to imperial tire conversion chart.
R15. 215/75/15 inches x 8.5. 225/70/15 inches x 8.9. 225/75/15 28.3 inches x 8.9. 235/75/15 29.0 inches x 9.3. 245/75/15 29.5 inches x 9.6. 255/75/15 30.0 inches x 10.0. 265/75/15 30.6 inches x 10.4. R16. 205/85/16 29.7 inches x 8.1. 215/75/16 28.7 inches x 8.5. 225/70/16 28.4 inches x 8.9. 225/75/16 29.2 inches x 8.9. 235/70/16 29.0 inches x 9.3. 235/85/16 31.7 inches x 9.3. 245/70/16 29.5 inches x 9.6. 245/75/16 30.5 inches x 9.6.
Wheel rim widths.
To determine the allowable range of rim widths for a specific tire size, the TRA yearbook or the manufacturer's guide should always be consulted for that specific tire. There is no rule of thumb. Running a tire on a rim size or type not approved by its manufacturer can result in tire failure and a loss of vehicle control.
Additional marks.
There are numerous other markings on a typical tire. These may include M+S, or M&S, mud and snow. A tire that meets the Rubber Manufacturers Association, RMA, and Rubber Association of Canada, RAC, all-season tire definition. These are all-weather tires, with self-cleaning tread and above-average traction in muddy or very light snowy conditions, and for low ambient temperatures. Spike tires have an additional letter, E, M+SE, M+T, or M&T, mud and terrain. Designed to perform in mud or on other terrain that requires additional traction such as on rocks, in deeper snow, and in loose gravel, mountain snowflake pictograph, winter passenger and light truck tires that meet the severe snow service requirements of Rubber Manufacturers Association, RMA, and Rubber Association of Canada, RAC, BSW, black sidewall, WSW, white sidewall, OWL, outline white lettering, ORWL, outlined raised white lettering, RWL, raised white lettering, VSB, vertical serrated band, BSL, black serrated letters, E4, tire approved according ECE regulations, the number indicating the country of approval, 030908, approval number of the tire, DOT code. All tires for use in the USA have the DOT code, as required by the Department of Transportation, DOT. It specifies the company, factory, mold, batch, and date of production, 2 digits for week of the year plus 2 digits for year. Or 2 digits for week of the year plus 1 digit for year for tires made prior to 2000. Although not law, some tire manufacturers do not. Tire manufactured in 10th week of 2001. Suggest using a new tire that has been sitting on the shelf for more than 6 years, Ford Motor Company, or 10 years, Cooper Tire citing a Tire Association recommendation. JATMA, the Japanese Automotive Tire Manufacturers Association recommends that all tires be inspected at 5 years, and all tires that were manufactured more than 10 years previous be replaced. TL, tubeless, TT, tube type, tire must be used with an inner tube, made in country of production, C, commercial. Tires for light trucks, example, 185 or 14C, B, bias belted. Tires for motorcycles, example, 150 70ths B 1769H, diagonal construction with belt added under the tread, SFI, or inner, side facing inwards. Inside of asymmetric tires, SFO, or outer, side facing outwards. Outside of asymmetric tires, TWI, tread wear indicator. A device, such as a triangle or a small Michelin man icon, located where the tread meets the sidewall. It indicates the location of the raised wear bars in between the tire tread channels, LL, light load. Tires for light usage and loads, SL, standard load. Tire for normal usage and loads, XL, extra load. A tire that allows a higher inflation pressure than a standard load tire, which increases the tire's maximum load, RF, reinforced. For Eurometric tires, the term reinforced means the same thing as extra load. Arrows, some tread designs are directional, and designed to perform better when driven in a specific direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. Such tires will have an arrow showing which way the tire should rotate when the vehicle is moving forwards. It is important not to put a clockwise tire on the left-hand side of the car or a counterclockwise tire on the right side, MO. Original tires for Mercedes-Benz, MOE, Mercedes-Benz Original Extended, NX, original tires for Porsche where X is a 0 for the first approved in that size, 1 the second, star, original tires for BMW, RSC in a circle, BMW Run Flat System Component, TPC, General Motors OE Fitments, AMX, Aston Martin OE Fitments, 100T commonly appears after tire size. Meaning, standard load inflation table, 100, and speed rating, T, to facilitate proper balancing. Most tire manufacturers also mark red circles, uniformity, and or yellow dots, weight, on the side walls of their tires to enable the best possible matched mounting of the tire wheel assembly.
Tire geometry.
When referring to the purely geometrical data, a shortened form of the full notation is used. To take a common example, 195/55 or 16 would mean that the nominal width of the tire is approximately 195 mm at the widest point, the height of the side wall of the tire is 55% of the width, 107 mm in this example, and that the tire fits 16-inch diameter, 410 mm, wheels. The code gives a direct calculation of the theoretical diameter of the tire. For a size shown as a TAW use, 2x/TXA/100, plus, WX25.4 for a result in millimeters or, TA/1270, plus W for a result in inches. Take the common example used above. 2x195x55/100 closing round bracket plus opening round bracket 16 times 25.4 equals 621 mm or opening round bracket 195 times 55 over 1270, plus 16 equals 24.44 inches. Less commonly used in the USA and Europe, but often in Japan for example, is a notation that indicates the full tire diameter instead of the sidewall height. To take the same example, a 16-inch wheel would have a diameter of 406 mm. Adding twice the tire height, 2x107 m, makes a total 620 mm tire diameter. Hence, a 195/55 or 16 tire might alternatively be labeled 195/620 or 16. Whilst this is theoretically ambiguous, in practice these two notations may easily be distinguished because the height of the side wall of an automotive tire is typically much less than the width. Hence when the height is expressed as a percentage of the width, it is almost always less than 100%, and certainly less than 200%. Conversely, vehicle tire diameters are always larger than 200 mm. Therefore, if the second number is more than 200, then it is almost certain the Japanese notation is being used. If it is less than 200, then the US/European notation is being used. The diameters referred to above are the theoretical diameter of the tire. The actual diameter of a specific tire size can only be found in the TRA yearbook or the manufacturer's data books. Note that the tire's cross-section and diameter are always specified when measured on a wheel of a specified width. Different widths will yield different tire dimensions.
Examples.
The tires on a BMW Mini Cooper might be labeled P195/55 or 1685H. P. These tires are for a passenger vehicle. However, P denotes P metric size load and speed rating changes for P tire and non-P tires. 195. The nominal width of the tire is approximately 195 mm at the widest point. 55 indicates that the height of the sidewall of the tire is 55% of the width. 107 mm. R. This is a radial tire. 16. This tire fits 16 in. 410 mm. Wheels. 85. The load index, a maximum of 515 kilograms, 1,135 pounds, per tire in this case. H. The speed index, this means the maximum permitted speed, here 210 km per hour, 130 miles per hour. The tires on a Hummer H1 might be labeled 37x12.5 or 17 LT. 37. The tire is 37 in, 940 mm, in diameter, 12.5. The tire has a cross-section of 12.5 in, 320 mm. R. This is a radial tire. 17. This tire fits 17 in, 430 mm. Wheels. LT. This is a light truck tire.